begin, as always, in the name of Jesus. This video is going to be a review of The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 4, Indifference. Okay, so this is the prelude. For anybody who has not seen the video, who has not watched the episode, I suggest you turn this off right now. So, alright, let's go. In the opening of the episode, Carol is having a little talk with Lizzie, and she's saying that, and Lizzie's hoping that that when humans die, they'll come back. But Carol's trying to tell her that when they come back as something else. So this is before she goes on a supply run with Rick. So we go to the opening credits, and we go back, and then go back to the episode. And then on the way, Rick and Carol are on a supply run, whereas Tyreese, Daryl, Bob, and Michonne are on a run for more medicine too. So on their way to and Rick and Carol, as they're on their way to a town for supplies, they they're just Carol's just trying to her to justify her justify her reason for killing Karen and David, and it's like, and it just from the looks of it, from the look on his face, Rick is not buying it at all. So as they head to a town, head to a house, to some housing development. They get out their weapons. They encounter a walker that falls down the stairs, and then they stab it, and they run and they meet this couple that just decided to hole up there. So, and it's like, from the looks of it, they just seem a little naive, and they're terrible at shooting. So I don't expect them to be for very long in the zombie apocalypse. So and it's like, and Miss Carol helps him with dislocated shoulder. Okay, so back to the I need to cut to what happens with those four: Michonne, Tyreese, Daryl, and Bob. So Tyreese is washing his shirt and his face in the water, and they head onto a car. They head onto a car surrounded the street and leaves and things like that. And then Tyreese, out of anger, is just hacking at the thing, and then all of a sudden a walker comes out. It's on top of him, and they get it off of him, and Bob shoots it. So, and it's like, and then on the meat, and then it's like after that, Michonne and Tyrese have a little chit chat, and Michonne just tells him that his anger is gonna get him killed. So that tries to cool him down, and then Tyrese tries, sort of like throwing it back at her, says, "You're still looking for the governor, right?" And it's like Michonne maybe probably realized she needs to quit her stuff with the governors, quit looking for the governor, as she has been over the course between seasons 3 and 4 and the previous 3 episodes or so. And they and what and and meanwhile, Daryl. Meanwhile, Daryl and Bob just comes clean about about his struggle with alcohol, and how he kind of caused that Zach dude to get killed in to be killed back in the season premiere. So it's like, and then they go into this little college, and they go find some medicine and stuff. So, and in the meantime, Bob finds this walker pinned under some stuff, and then kills it afterwards. Back to Rick and Carol. Rick tells the two people that they are abandoned. They're located at a prison, but they may not be survived even while they're there. And they go on a run. They said those two to go on a run. Well, good luck, that will do them. And then they go go like into a bathroom or something, and then they continue about talking about Carol's actions, and Carol's just saying, you had to kill to Rick, had to kill one of your own." And I'm like, and she's referring to Shane, and he says that was sort of different. So, and so and so it's like, and it ends with like Carol saying, "You don't have to like what I did." So, and back to, and so those two, and so back to Michonne, Tyreese, Bob, and Daryl's run. They have Daryl. I mean, Bob has secretly picked up a stash of drugs. So they go back, and then they are trying to leave the place. They are swarmed by walkers. They kill some of them. I love the walker action there too, by the way. And then they have to, and they are feel like they're locked, they're pinned, and they have to make an exit for themselves. So, and on their way, Bob has his stash of drugs of a on the top, dangling on the top of a roof where some of the walkers were trying to grab onto it, and then they save him. They tell Bob to let it go, and then but he won't. But he eventually saves it. And when Daryl finds out that Bob went in there for that he is very very angry. So, and to a lesser degree, so the other two. So in the meantime, back with Rick and Carol are in the backyard of that house. They are doing some stuff with the plants there. They're getting apricots and stuff, and they're talking about. And Rick says he half expects Lori to be there serving stuff, and it seems like Carol can't even mention the name of her own child, Sophia, who passed away in season two. So they realize there's blood, and they realize that one of the two of those people got wound up as Walker food. So I knew that one of them was gonna bite it. So after that Rick decides. Rick says Carol and David could have lived, and then at the end, he decides to banish her. Now I'll have to talk about that in detail a little later. Right now, I need to talk about Daryl, Bob, Tyreese, and Michonne. So they decide to take it. Daryl's very angry at Bob, but he decides to take him back anyway. And then they just go back to they're driving, heading on their way back to the prison. Oh, I have to mention that little interaction between Daryl and Michonne as this episode began. So I really liked what she said. How Michonne just says that rock brings out the brightness, pebble brings out the brightness in your eyes. That was very funny. So, and I liked how she smiled too. So, anyways, back to what we were saying. They go back and they're driving back, and then Carol, and as we know, Rick decided to banish Carol. I need to say that I think Rick made the right call there because Carol decided to kill um Carol made a Carol had no right to. Carol just committed cold-blooded murder there, and if that's, and who's to say that if he brought her back, that he, what if it was Carl, what if it was Judith, what if it was anybody else at the prison? Carol might have killed them as well. Of course, she's saying that she did it to keep the virus from spreading, but they were isolated. They were like they were knew it was already spreading at this point. So it's like, and even more, Tyreese might try to kill her. So I think Rick, and for those of you who say that wasn't Rick's decision to make, I'm thinking, dude, you have to remember the council's finished. Herschel is out helping out the people. Glenn and Sasha, they're sick, and Daryl's out with the other three, Tyreese, Michonne, Bob, and they so Rick had to make this decision himself. So, and plus, he's the reason that everybody's at the prison to begin with. He found the place. He strove to make it a home for them, and now they are, and now he has to, and now I think he has every right to kick her out, as he was the one who found the place in. Even though he did take a little bit of a break at the end of season three that lasted for 6 months. So ultimately, I really love this episode. I like the interactions between Tyreese and Michonne. I really hope those two become couple as they do in the comics. And I like the interaction between Tyreese and Daryl, and I also like the how they mix the action with character development. That's really what I like. Ultimately, I'm really loving this season. I have to give this episode 9.4 or 9.5. So that's how I that's how I rate it. All right.